It was one of those mornings. I was on a crowded train on the way to work. There were no seats, just typical city life, and every day was the same. Hating my 9 to 5, but I couldn't relax after work because I was pursuing my CPA and I needed to study. Not to mention that I lived by myself and I had to take care of my meals, my housework, and everything. And revenge bedtime procrastination was my favorite thing to do. I would probably regret it in the next morning when life repeated itself. I was tired before I even opened my eyes every day. Adulting was so hard. So that day, when I was standing next to the door on the train, I thought to myself, I needed some stimulation. So I started browsing on the podcast app. Self-improvement, finding meaning and purpose in life were some of the topics that I desperately needed as the new grad and also someone going through quarter-life crisis. Podcasts opened a whole new world to me, and it was how I got into personal development content, the 4-hour workweek hype, financial independence, entrepreneurship, and so on. Yeah, my journey to personal development started on my journey to work, and it was more than 5 years ago. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Venus and I'm a music therapist based in Sydney. So this is how I got into the personal development world. As I always emphasize on this channel, it is a constant work in progress. No matter what stage you're at in life, there is something that you want to improve on. So in today's video, I want to share my top 3 favorite mentors who have the greatest influence on me. I believe that in our 20s is a critical period when we start to realize that our worldviews are shaped by our childhood, the environment that we grew up with, our parents or guardians' values, etc. And the world is much bigger than we thought, so it's a period of disruption and realization with conflicts. It is important to find mental models that can help us grow and evolve as a person in order to reach our full potential. Interestingly, I discovered all these mentors through listening to podcasts in one way or another. You know, I'm a music therapist and it would be an understatement to say that I can't live without music, but I did spend a lot of time listening to podcasts as well. It was actually quite possible if you listen to 1.5 to 2x speed. Anyway, I was so grateful that I stumbled upon these podcasts when I needed them the most, during my quarter-life crisis, during the most tough decision-making processes, and during my darkest period in life. I will go through my top 3 mentors who influenced my life the most with more stories. All links are in the description box below if you're searching for some new podcasts to listen to. So let's get started. The first mentor is Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I first came across his articles through a podcast called Optimal Living Daily or OLD by Justin Mollett. And the podcast narrates books and articles regarding personal development, minimalism, finance, relationship, health and business. Benjamin Hardy was the #1 writer on the website called medium.com back in 2015 to 2017 I think, and his articles were just gold. One of his most famous articles is called You Make or Break Your Life Between 5 to 7 a.m. Link in description box. And I was super enlightened. It made me become more aware of my morning routine. I have been a night owl my whole life, born and raised in Hong Kong, and my lifestyle has always been like that. Waking up at 8 a.m. was considered early, and I never went to bed until after midnight. Yes, I was always tired and exhausted, but the idea of a morning routine just enticed me. It was the first time in my life that I wanted to get up early, plan ahead, and make the best use of the day, after hearing him talk about all the benefits of waking up early. Now, I'm not saying that all successful people wake up at 5 a.m., go for a jog, have cold shower, black coffee, journal, meditate, and start their work at 8 a.m. It's not like that. You do you and you find what suits you. My point is, this article made me realize how I could change and start living a better life. I often lack motivation and mental clarity to do my work, and that affected my performance and productivity because I never had the energy. Another important point that Benjamin Hardy highlighted is that we are the most creative after we wake up. That's why creative people should get up earlier and create first before they get on with their life. At that time, I had a day job as an accountant, and I also started creating this YouTube channel, and I needed time, energy, creativity to work on my creative projects. That's why his ideas appealed to me so much, and that opened a new world of shifting my lifestyle and opinions on waking up early. It hasn't been an easy journey for me. I could get up early if I had to, but going to sleep before midnight has always been my biggest challenge, which I sometimes still have to deal with till this day. But over the years, I got better at managing my lifestyle and my time, and my mental clarity just improved. I'm able to prioritize my tasks, which eventually led me to changing my career. Apart from the morning routine, Benjamin Hardy also enlightened me to start journaling with intention. So the next thing is about journaling and building self-awareness. You can read his article on how to journal, how to improve your life and achieve all your goals, link in description box. I think Benjamin Hardy has this persuasive ability to make me start new habits. Or maybe it's just that I'm naturally drawn to goal attainment and personal development stuff, but oftentimes I feel like he's really speaking to me. I literally started journaling seriously instead of just brain dumping because of him. He showed how he achieved his goals, made lots of money, maintained a large family, and got closer to God just because he had a very clear headspace. He knows what he wants, he knows what he's doing, and he's intentionally planning and taking actions. That's how I got into journaling and have daily, weekly, quarterly, and annual review. Basically just trying to improve my self-awareness and make that 1% improvement every single day. Be more intentional and mindful instead of just living on autopilot. I have a couple of videos on the topic of journaling and you can check them out later. I use Notion to journal now, and you can find the template included in this video. And the last thing that Benjamin Hardy taught me is the idea of future self. I just realized I keep preaching about these concepts everywhere I go, and it all started from consuming Benjamin Hardy's content. Anyway, in around late 2020, he had a free 30-day course on building future self, and I was hooked. It never occurred to me that I could choose to be a completely different person if I want to. We always hear people say, "This is who I am, I will never change." But is that true? You don't need to make the same choice every single day. And this is also why personality tests aren't trustworthy. They ask you questions based on your past decisions, but in fact you don't need to decide on your career or make decisions based on what you have done in the past. Your future self is a completely different person, and all that matters is what you do now, from now on, every single day. The universe doesn't care about your past, but we owe the responsibility to make a change anytime. 3 years ago, I wanted to be a music therapist so that I could help people with music. It seemed very far-fetched at that time because I was an accountant and I was stuck in a day job that I didn't like. But envisioning myself improving others' mental health with music therapy excited me. I was obsessed with this version of myself. I figured I would do whatever it took to achieve that goal. So I made effort every single day to make a change. This is when I become so motivated by a future version of myself, in which I will be living my dream life, being true to myself, and doing what I love. Having the freedom to choose where I want to be and what I want to do. I do think that thinking about a future self is an underrated concept. You can check out Benjamin Hardy's YouTube channel for more related content. He helped me tremendously and I'm so grateful for that. Let's move on to my second mentor, Stephen Bartlett. Maybe my favorite one. Where do I even begin? I think I stumbled upon his podcast in late 2018 and then his Instagram, which was full of tweaks of wisdom and quotes. His podcast, The Diary of a CEO, is so insightful, raw, vulnerable, and relatable. It's so interesting to look into his thought process and decision-making model of a successful entrepreneur. In the beginning days, it was almost like I was sitting in a wardrobe with him, listening to him pouring his heart out. And over the years, I watched him upgrade his podcast game, and now it's such a high-quality production and mind-blowing conversations with successful people. It is actually quite therapeutic to listen to. My biggest takeaways from consuming Stephen's content all over the years have been like embracing uncertainties and chaos, intrinsic motivation, and building sustainable habits, like why the gym is always crowded in spring but empty in autumn, and also to develop an unbeatable self-belief by just doing more, as in like affirmation is just empty words if your brain doesn't see the evidence. It was Stephen who first introduced me to this quote: "Most people prefer the certainty of misery than the misery of certainty," by Virginia Zeta, which single-handedly changed my life. I literally decided to pivot my career and to start going after my dream after seeing this quote. We all know, indecision is a decision itself, and the biggest risk is taking no risk. I literally think that I've hit jackpot when I became a music therapist. How lucky I am to be able to help others enjoy what I'm doing as a living and being in a flow state in most of the time during my work. When I was making the decision, I thought the biggest risk was to give up my stable accounting job, but now I look back. The bigger risk would be to not being true to myself and not enjoying life and not unleashing my potential as a human being during my time on this earth. So thanks Stephen for enlightening me. And Stephen's book, The Happy Sexy Millionaire, is also just gold that I had to get a hard copy. He talked about a quitting framework, as in the fact that sometimes quitting or terminating projects or quitting things that you don't like doesn't actually make you a loser, contrary to what the society says that you have to persist or whatever. Because direction is more important than speed, you know. And when you sense that something doesn't work, it's better to just change the path earlier. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. I just love his mental model, and I will keep listening to his podcast and make constant reflection. Next mentor, Ali Abdaal. YouTuber, doctor, entrepreneur. I forgot which video I stumbled upon first, but that's definitely not the how to study video. But back in the days, he was famous for being a full-time doctor, talking about productivity and how to study on YouTube. And my first impression was that, man, he was a machine. He has great system and processes in place, and he listens to anything on at least 2x speed, and which makes him almost like a robot. I wonder how he enjoys life, but then he mentioned making videos and learning was fun. And I was heavily influenced by him during late 2019. A lot of what he did resonated with me. For example, I'm not satisfied with just a day job and constantly needing side projects, and I find learning languages fun, which might seem nerdy to some people, but that's all about perspectives, hey. And I'm always trying to find ways to improve my performance and productivity. And it's just amazing to see Ali Abdaal's growth. I remember started watching his video when he has just 300k subscribers, and now he's like more than 2 million subscribers. And not to mention how he gamed up his YouTube production, podcasts and businesses. He's truly my inspiration. And we cannot talk about Ali Abdaal without mentioning Notion. He introduced me to this whole new world of life organization. It's basically Trello, calendar, to-do list and everything that you can think of mixed together in a software. It can feel a bit overwhelming to start with in the beginning, but once you got the hang of it, you would wonder how you have been holding your life together without it. I have a few Notion videos here on this channel: how to journal, how to do annual review, and how to improve mental health using Notion. Templates included, so check them out. Now, of course, there are still a lot of amazing people out there online that influenced and enlightened my personal development journey, like Matt Devella, Jay Shetty, Michelle B, and more. But I picked the top 3 people that changed my life in some tremendous way. And I won't be where I am today without these people. And I'm so grateful. If you're looking for new YouTube channels or podcasts to consume, I've provided all the links in the description box below. I understand how it feels to be lost, confused, unmotivated, and unsatisfied in life. These people helped me get out of that state and start living a better life. And I hope you get something out of it too. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and comment down below any personal development topics that you are interested in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.